You want to sell more on Amazon? Well, you need to know exactly how many units you're selling each month and compare it to the other months. Don't know how to figure that out? Stay tuned. Okay, so when you log into Amazon Seller Central, I'm going to show exactly where to go to figure out what numbers you need to calculate your sell-through. So you'll see all these widgets. Each of these boxes is basically a widget. You're going to look for the one that says Sales Summary, and if you don't see it, it might be collapsed. You can click on the three little dots and expand it. And you're going to see a link down here that says View More of Your Sales Statistics. We're going to click on that, and it's going to open up some graphs. Now, this could be in table view, which if it is, that's fine. You can just change it to graph view. You're going to go over here to the left, and you're going to select sales and traffic. So we're going to open that up, and it's probably going to be defaulted to by the day. We're going to look at it by the month, and it may be defaulted to just a short time frame. I would recommend looking at least the last 6 months to get a good feel for your sell-through. So I'm going to click on that, and you see it's got each of the last 6 months, the time I did this video, listed here, including the current month. But it's going to show you how many units were ordered and your total order items. Now, that can be different just because of people ordering more of one thing than another. Like you see here in March, I had 309 units ordered, but 292 order items. But we're going to go ahead and look at the actual number of order items and compare that to the average offer count. Now, if you don't see these columns, average offer count or total order items, find this little arrow over here where it says columns, and it'll open up a little menu. Just hover over it, and you can select total order items, and you can select your actual average offer count as well. And just make sure those are checked with the little blue check box here. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to open up a calculator and do this by hand to show you what it looks like. So let's look at the month of January. So I had 447 items. We're going to go ahead and enter that in, and we're going to divide it by the average offer count. So we're going to say divided by 1268. And that's going to give us the percentage. I'm going to multiply it times 100 because it's a little easier to see. So I sold 35% of my items that month, which was a really good month in terms of sell-through, mainly because I had a lot of books for sale, and January is a textbook season, so a lot of people shopping books, period. And that was a really good sell-through amount. Whereas you look at in April, I had 408 items, 408 order items, divided by 1599 was my average offer count, which is 25.5%. If we multiply it times 100, we get that, which is still a good sell-through. But this will allow you to figure out exactly what your sell-through was for any time frame really you want. You could do this for a whole year. You can do it for any amount you want. But it allows you to figure out how quickly you're turning items in a given time frame, which is really powerful. And I'm going to show you in the next segment how I use this information to make some better buying decisions. Okay, so this spreadsheet is where I actually put in the numbers that I get from that sell-through report each month at the end of the month from Amazon. And all I really do is I will track my actual sales for the month, the units ordered, the average offer count, and then this cell, the F11 cell here, actually does the calculation where it does 180 divided by 1249 to give me the sell-through percentage. And you can see I've done that for each month here. And if you do that for month after month in your business, you're going to start seeing some trends. Like I mentioned in the previous segment, I already see where I had a really high sell-through month in January. This was mainly because it's textbook season. There was lots of books being looked at, and I benefited from that by having some textbooks as well as a lot of books in general. We sent in a lot of books that month as well, so we had a super high sell-through rate that month just because of the time of year it was. February it fell back off some, and March it fell off even more. But in April it was a high sell-through month yet again because we really tightened up our ranks. So what I mean by that is We really tighten up the lowest sales rank we would source an item in a particular category. We were sourcing at basically 5%, and 5% is fine, but in some categories, 5% would be a really, really quick sell through. And in other categories, the top 5% would be a very slow sell through. It just depends on how big the category is and how quickly items move in it. So we really tightened that up, and we saw a lot of results from that in April. We saw our sell through obviously jump up, 9, almost 10 points here, which is great. That means if you think about it, if you send in a hypothetical 1,000 units, you would sell 275 of them basically within, 30 days or so. And what this allows you to do is really figure out what you need to do in your business. Let's say that you're going to sell 200 units in the next month. And you're going to on a 1,000 item inventory, so a 20% sell through. And let's say that you average $6 profit on each unit. Well, just doing some simple math allows us to figure out that we would net $1,200 on that. Now, that allows you to go through and say, all right, if I keep using these numbers, I'm likely to get similar results in terms of sell-through. And so I know with 1,000 units, I'm going to sell 200 of them because I've been getting a 20% sell-through on average. We'll just say that that was what you put up here. And you could change that amount to any amount you wanted. And then you can say, well, all right, I know that I'm going to net $6 on each one, right? So your net profit per item is basically $6. So your total profit there for that month is likely to be somewhere around $1,200. That really allows you to start planning your business and figuring out, which directions you need to go in. And you can change these numbers. Obviously, you could send in 2,000 units. And if your sell-through was still 20%, you would sell 400 of them. And with a net of $6, then you would net $2,400. And so on and so on and so on. It also allows you to know that, let's say that, for instance, your cost of goods sold is, let's say, $5 on each item. That's what you spend. And again, you're going to sell 200 of those. So you kind of know then that the next month you're likely to get back $1,000 so you can source. Because if you think about it, if you sell 200 items and your cost of goods sold was $5 on average for each item, you're likely to get $1,000 back that can go into your sourcing budget. So you see how knowing your sell-through over time, and again, I recommend at least 6 months, guys, before you start making any assumptions. Knowing your sell-through over time allows you to start planning just how profitable you're likely to be, which can lead you in some interesting directions in terms of what you do next. And it also allows you to know how much money you're likely to have for your sourcing budget, given what's probably going to sell in the next 30 days and how much of that revenue is going to be cost of goods sold and how much money you're going to have to put back into your sourcing. So hopefully that makes sense. And this spreadsheet is very, very simple to create. You could do this. It would take you literally 5 minutes to do it. And you can just start plugging in all your numbers from Amazon. You can go to that report and look back over 2 years and see and just start plugging in your numbers. And it's just very simple to pull this formula down to each corresponding cell and just figure out what your overall numbers are. All right, so there you have it. Super simple way to figure out exactly how much you're selling each month and how to figure out exactly what your sourcing budget's going to be for the next month. All you need to know is your sell-through, and it's not that hard to figure out. Amazon provides you all the info. If you have a calculator, you can do it. It is so easy to do. And look, it's going to help you sell more and more each month because you're going to know how much money you're likely to get back out of Amazon on a monthly basis. And that knowledge is power, and it's going to make you a much better seller.